banner of episode 1 Dvaj with Ramkamal Sir.
So, hello everyone, and welcome to first podcast of Beyond the Sight. And my aim through this podcast is to show you that how does the visually impaired people live their life, how they work, how they take the education, how they pursue the education, and how the people who are working for the visually impaired community help them. And for our first podcast, I have with me Ramkamal Sir. So my name is Dwaj, and I would like to ask Ram Sir to introduce himself. Ram Sir, please have your honors.
Doj, thank you very much for inviting me. I know that this is your first podcast, and you are one of the person and one of Chakshumathi, and I always admire for your interest in going and finding new technologies and introducing it to the community. Okay.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, currently I am facing a power outrage in my place. So I'll just do the introduction, and rest of the recordings we can do it on a later stage.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. Normally, I don't have a habit, or I don't know how to introduce myself. Since you asked, myself is Ramkamal. I am the founder of Chakshumathi. Chakshumathi is an NGO of a different way of approach and work. Chakshumathi worked with children with special needs. We initially started with children with visual impairment to help them to read more books and develop more content for them. Later, when we involve more in the community, we understand the lack of employability skills with the students and the unemployability with the community. It was 99% when Chakshumathi started. Still, it is 99% unemployment in the community. But in few years, it is going to change, because the base group which we started working are students. They are getting ready for getting into employment. So Chakshumathi, as I told you, we started for the visually impaired students and the print disabled youth. But later we focused more on STEM and quality education for the students with the use of assistive technologies. During your journey, we have found that it is not only visually impaired, but all children with special needs need the assistance and support of assistive technologies. So we moved into inclusive education area, because there are many NGOs working in the community, in the visually impaired community, but there is not many NGOs are working to make our regular schools ready to incorporate inclusive education and welcome doors or open doors for the student with special needs, so that the mainland community can engage with the children with special needs and give them confidence to live in this big world. So that is what all I can say. In my previous life, I could say, like, previous life means my professional life, I was a journalist and a branding expert. But later I decided to become a social engineer in bringing out socially good projects for the welfare of the community. Chakshumathi does all their programs free of cost, and we don't do any kind of donations. We don't run on sponsorship programs, we work with thousands of volunteers or thousands of students with special needs with one request, like once they get a support from us, they also should work in their community for the welfare of more and more students. This is what about my introduction. I am from Kerala. Chakshumathi is a registered organization in Kerala, but we don't have an office, we don't have staff. We are a cloud-based organization. We support visually impaired and children with special needs in 11 countries in the world. That is all about myself and about Chakshumathi. Thank you, Doj.
Thank
I
you,
think
sir,
we may
for
need to do
this.
a shoot later because since I am running out into a power condition, I am currently in Andhra Pradesh at the moment in a school called Rural Development Trust, where we are trying to make this school a fully 360-degree digital school. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we'll move to our questions now. So, sir, we will start our podcast with the first question. That how did you started the what is the idea behind starting the Chakshumathi and how did it help the visually impaired individuals?
Yes, Doj. Originally, Chakshumathi was started for visually impaired students because my limited experience in like the last of 2010, it's like 2008 and 9, with few visually impaired youths, really impressed me that okay, they have a big scope of improving their knowledge base, skill sets, and become valid in the mainstream society. This was the thought behind starting an organization to help visually impaired youths to become employable, professionally good, and making some milestones in their life. So during 2010, early 2010, those days I was working in Delhi. I met Mr. Deependra Manocha. Deependra Manocha, we don't need any introduction in India because I really love to call him as the father of Indian visual impairment or print disabled communities technology evolution, because he bought technology for his need, but he didn't stop it there. He thought to spread it across. So being a journalist and a branding expert later, I know the value of reading. Reading is very, very important for anybody for their development and empowerment. Those days, the major obstacle for the visually impaired community was having very less reading content for them to read. Basically, those days, visually impaired community was dependent on Braille for self-reading, or they had to seek the help of someone to read the print contents. So we decided like, okay, let us come out with something as a solution to develop more and more reading content so that visually impaired youths can use those books to read more and get empowered. So that's the time Dipendra Manocha and his friends brought DAISY to India. DAISY means Digitally Accessible Information System. It's a format of producing accessible books. And those days, remember, we were producing audiobooks because those days everybody was dependent on an audio cassette to listen recorded content. So other than the braille, that was a second format used for reading. But when we read an audio book, the tape recorder, we have a play button, fast forward button, and rewind button. We liked one particular line and you want to hear it again, you need to pause, then rewind. Once you rewind, it will go maybe 5-6 lines behind. So you can just imagine the amount of time wasted by everybody while reading audio content. So DAISY was a solution for that. DAISY was a programmed audio book where readers read in legible voice and someone will be editing it and programming it so that anybody can jump line by line or chapter by chapter or page by page or paragraph by paragraph, or they can bookmark also. Reading was so easy, and with human voice, children used to enjoy reading. So Deependra Manoja requested me like, why can't we develop more and more content in Malayalam language? There was no Malayalam DAISY books those days. So to produce DAISY books, we started Chakshumathi. The name Chakshumathi was given to us by one of my guru, and he is a very famous corporate guru in India, Swami Sukhabodhananda. So one of our breakfast sitting, I expressed my wish to start an NGO to help the blind and print disabled youths to read books and produce contents for them. Immediately, in the same second, he said, Chakshumathi as a name. Chakshumathi means intuitive eyes. That eyes which is not visible but which is invisible in you, which really tickle you or really make you take decisions, make you see the scope of the things, make you understand many things. That is what the word Chakshumathi in Sanskrit means, intuitive eyes. So we started Chakshumathi in 2010 to help youth of print disabled community to get into assistive technology, learn technology, as well as get reading content, and as well as get books produced in DAISY language, in English and other topics, to be circulated with the kids in Kerala. So we started in Kerala.
So sir, second question to you is, as a journalist who is very much into the life and other parts of the visually impaired individual's life, what do you think are the challenges which are faced by the visually impaired persons?
It is very same in 2010 and now in 2023. Okay, there is, in my opinion, there is only two challenges in front of a visually impaired person. One is reading. Like a sighted person, they cannot read a printed books. Second is writing. But for both, now we have effective means of alternative reading and writing. So one who can acquire the skills of alternative reading either by computer or smartphones or a daisy player, their reading problems will be over. Writing, we have come out with a very easy, very low-cost writing methodology. Anyone got an Android phone. Even I don't think anybody in this world who can't afford to arrange 3,000 rupees to buy a second-hand smartphone. Connect a keyboard. You have a computer in your hand. Your writing problem is solved. Right? In any language, science, maths, anything.
So, sir, the next question to you is, how does Chakshumathi work for the inclusive education, and what are the effects you are currently noticing through it? Like, what are the changes you are noticing after that initiative?
Okay, here I need to definitely mention one major decision we took as Chakshumathi in 2014. Because within that 4 years of experience, what we understood, we were getting students who went to a special school, who learned the traditional method of reading and writing and tried to find a comfort zone within that. They don't want to come out to technology and experiment. Even though we say it is not an experiment, this is a solution. You need to learn technology. Once you learn technology, then life will be very easy. Life will be very equal to anybody else, right? But unfortunately, many were hesitant and many were pulled back by their teachers and by the advice of the teachers. The parents also pulled them back. No way. The traditional method is the only answer for a person with visual impairment. So you should also understand, when we talk about visual impairment, it is not only blind. There are low visions are there.
Low vision.
There are hundreds of varieties of low visions are there. There are 2 varieties of blindness is there. One is no light perspective, those who don't see any light. And there are light perspective, those who see light but they don't see any images. All these varieties are having different mindset, different way of operation, different way of working, right? All these problems can be solved only through technology. Besides that, when Chakshumathi was on the start, assistive technology was getting into a kind of rolling condition. By 2011 and 12, we have text-to-daisy books. Digital text are there. Children can learn spellings easily. Understand? They can convert any documents to their essays. Lot of facilities are there. And also, audiobook, which is around 750, 1 GB size, has come down to 1 MB size in a digital textbook. But those days, screen reading engines are also coming up. And everybody was tumbled down with JAWS. JAWS is a costly software. Believe me or not, in India, I didn't see anybody buy original JAWS. Except they work in a corporate company, the company may buy for them. Because on those days, it was 1,45,000 rupees, where we can buy a computer for 60,000 rupees. Later, the miracle happened. NVIDIA came into the picture. Then comes the smartphone revolution. Life before Google and life after Google. Talkback has come. G-Show, there are so many other engines came up.
Yes.
Otherwise, everybody have to be like everybody have to satisfy with the e-speak.
Hmm.
E-speak got its mechanical voice, which is, I don't say bad. That was the only thing the community had. But it speaks every language. In
Yes.
Malayalam, otherwise, we had to read books. It takes a month, month and a half, then to edit, right? But the same book, if we had a scanned copy, text copy in a Unicode font given to a child, they can read with e-speak. May not be, emotions may not be there. It will be a kind of mechanical voice. But again, the children get content, right?
Yes.
That was the change which made us understand there
Hmm.
is no more reason for any of the child with visual impairment had to be in a special school.
Hmm.
The major issue with the special school is poor teaching is guaranteed. Most of the places, no teaching. They give 3 time food. They keep these children in a captivity, keep them away from the family. So the child and the family connect is going on. Child and societal living is going on. And child
Hmm.
is in jail
Hmm.
without seeing the outer world. Luckily, India, when signed for the Inclusive Education Treaty, Salamanca Treaty,
Hmm.
after the 7th standard, they have to go for normal schools. But that is also again places like Kerala, yes. Most of the other places, even in Andhra Pradesh, up to degree, post graduation, there are blind colleges. What these
Hmm.
kids are going to do after post graduation in a blind college, how they are going to live in a mainland society? Not going to happen. Then again,
Hmm.
as I told you, the advent of a lot of ICT technologies come in. So there is a technology for visual impairment. There is a technology for print disability like dyslexia, dyscalculia, all those things, autism, HD, everything. Then there is a technology for hearing impairment in captioning and all those things. And
Hmm.
now there's a bucket of technologies for, neurodiverse group. Neurodivergent groups comes out. All this dyslexia also comes in there. And besides that, there is ID, autism, all those groups comes into neurodivergent. So now the world can very well take up inclusive education because every child can sit in a mainstream school with his or her own technology. Means her own means they are not producing, it is produced by our
Hmm.
mainstream, organizations only like Microsoft or Android. And
Yes.
those who can't afford Microsoft can go to Android, it is free.
Hmm.
Then who is stopping you from going to mainstream school? That is the question. And mainstream school teachers doesn't need to bother anything. They can teach the way they want. The technology which is used by the kid, allowed to use it in the class, he is par with any other kid.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can you, sir, talk about a specific incident or individual success story which you have been connected by Chakshumathi and you have seen by Chakshumathi?
See, Chakshumathi was started with an inspiration, which I have seen personally in New Delhi.
Hmm.
That is Karthik Swaini. Karthik Swaini was those days studying in a normal school, like any other child, using a computer. This I am talking about 2011, 10, those periods. 2000, no, 2009, I think, is 9, those periods. First 1 year he went to special school, I guess so. Then he was moved to a normal school by his parents because the parents made a decision. Let my kid study in a normal environment. And our NAB Delhi has helped them a lot. Like Prasant and Deependra Manocha, they all promoted him to go to digital. He's a first product in India, which is tested in an inclusive environment. Now, all in the community know where is Karthik Soini is. He's the first VI person went to Stanford University. Okay. He is now working in Microsoft. He is also a successful startup entrepreneur. And he made the miracle. He find a solution which he faced during his studies of converting printed mathematics and science text into accessible digital text by starting iSTEM. So this is one of the biggest, I could say like motivation became starting Chakshumathi. In Chakshumathi, we have done so much pressure to so many kids. When we are very sure about the technologies, but technologies are under development those periods. For an example, in Kerala, it's so many smart kids. They want to take up science and maths, but they were pulled by their community, they were pulled by their old teachers, they were pulled by their society, saying like, no, science and maths are not set for the children with visual impairment. So they didn't take. We started our journey with Regin Jose. Regin completed his +2 in science, and he was low vision those days. So he didn't reveal that he was blind to get his admissions. Because getting admission in science is a big bottleneck that day. So Regin completed his +2 or intermediate with very good scores. Then he joined for his BTech in computer science. That time also he had his blindness. He was a very acute low vision guy. Unfortunately, those days he met with a motorcycle accident and had some fracture in his leg and all. Then during those antibiotic or something, he lost his eyesight completely. So BTech became a big question mark in front of him because in BTech in the first year, he had to complete one paper called drawings. So he had to discontinue because of his hospital days, attendance and all those things, he had to discontinue. Then he joined in Bachelor in Computer Application at Mahatma Gandhi University. Those days, universities were also not ready to give admission to a VI in a science stream. But luckily, the Vice Chancellor agreed to give him an admission, and he scored almost top in the university when he completed his BCA. Then he did his JEE and he got admission in Cochin University for his MCA. He completed MCA also. And MCA that time, I think he's the second rank in JEE. He completed MCA and started working with an American health company as an artificial intelligence program. He's doing very good. I'm very proud of Regin because he is a self-made boy. What is Chakshumathi's role? We just motivated him. When and where he has some doubts or clarification or he need to have some connection to someone, we did that. The rest, we were only a supporter. He did his own. His friends helped him a lot to study together. So no accessible content was there for BC those days. But he did it very well. and he is a very successful programmer at this stage. Like that, there are many other youths followed Regin's path. Most of them are studying in their courses. Some of the girls who were also doing science immediately after Regin, they were also misled after their intermediate by some of the other community members, and they take them away from us. But anyway, they have done good. They have done their masters. They have done their BCAs. They are all working very well.
What advice you want to give to the individuals or the organizations who are working for the print disabled, and how they can work for more accessibility in their programs?
Okay, my advice is very simple. Don't talk about accessibility at all. Because now, today, in this moment, I should say, if anybody say it is not accessible, they should learn how to make it accessible. With all Google tools, with hundreds of tools which is available in the market, can make any non-accessible content accessible within seconds. The classic example, what happened in Andhra Pradesh, where currently Chakshumathi is the main consultant for inclusive education. What happened is like, this year, for the first time in Andhra's history, 6 girls wrote their 10th examination using computer, laptops. So far in the history, nobody got any digitally accessible question paper anytime in any examination in India. Now also there are examinations like International Baccalaureate, IB syllabus is doing with digital question papers, but those question papers also will not allow any external tools like Microsoft Word or Excel, which is the most accessible tool for doing maths. So most of the VA kids getting into IB, they opt for humanities just because IB's, a tough hand decision not to allow any other external tool other than their own examination tool with the question and answers. Okay? It is impossible otherwise. Like without these tools, effectively writing maths and science is going to be impossible. So taking up STEM is a very important thing for anybody, any child in this new world, in this new generation world. So what Andhra Pradesh government has done, Chakshumathi trained government staff how to convert a printed question paper into an accessible question paper within 10 minutes time. So that 10 minutes they give extra time for these children in the examination. So all these 6 children, for the first time in India, wrote their examination using computer without a reader or a scribe. Otherwise, there should be a reader to read the printed question and the child has to write the answer in the computer, right?
Yes.
And they did it beautifully, independently, and showed India that it is possible. That you should understand 8 to 10 pages question paper within 10 minutes. If someone can convert into digitally accessible format, why do anybody complain about accessibility? There is no room for that. So my advice to print disabled youths and visually impaired youths, never ever complaint. Nobody is there to listen to your complaint. Get ready, get prepared, learn the techniques to make inaccessible content to accessible content. Be independent in making things accessible than writing and reading. If these two things are there, nobody can beat a visually impaired person in the job area or in any skill sets.
So, sir, next question to you is, how can society include the visually impaired people and support them and make their lives more better, I guess we can say?
In my experience with the last 12 years, why do a visually impaired person need a support? If he is digitally enabled, you understand? If you are digitally enabled, why do you want a support? Very simple. When I ask you to come to Andhra Pradesh, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you went to the Ahmedabad airport, you used your wallet for the ID, passport, all those things, the ticket and everything.
Yeah, I use this
Simply
thing,
simply
DigiLocker.
walked in. And you being a VIP, visually impaired person, your airline will take care of you, right? For
Yes,
that, you don't
exactly.
book another ticket and take a person, right? And same thing, once you came to the Bangalore airport, you came independently. So it's the same way. If a person is empowered to become independent by using technology, and in your previous question, you said, what is my advice to the organizations who support, right?
Yes.
So the organizations who support visually impaired should understand one thing: never ever say no to the dreams of a person. Most of the cases, what I have seen, most of the organizations used to set limits for the dreams of the youth to become what they want to be. You teach them technology, then forget them. They will leave their own. That is what Chakshumathi's experience. Chakshumathi doesn't carry any baggages. You understand? As soon as we get a person, we empower them with the technology, then forget it. We tell them, like, your sky is very vast, your dreams don't have any limit. Dream big, because since you have to dream it big. Then try to achieve the best. That is what.
So, sir, we can say that if you are technologically enabled, then there is no need for like particular support, right?
You don't need support at all. Now, if you look at, you have to be very vigilant in knowing the in and out of every apps you use to make you independent. And every other week there will be a new product coming out to bypass a deficiency in any app to make it more efficient. You have to keep updating your apps, updating your software, so you get the better solutions. Because everything, let me tell you very frankly, any technology, it's not the case of IST technology. Any technology, it is always on development. It is always on development. Never ever it can be a complete technology, because our needs are very diverse, and our needs are every time going to come new and new and new. So every product has to be updated. So you have to be sure that your version of your apps and software are updated or not. And try not to use any pirated system. There is no need to pirate any system now because there are enough excellent open source free software available. And so be a netizen who is always savvy in knowing technology and updating his knowledge level.
Yes. So, sir, next question to you is, looking at the future, what are the goals and hope from your side as Chakshumathi for the visually impaired people?
Chakshumathi is no more working for visually impaired people. Okay, it's a very simple thing. Chakshumathi working for youths, be it sighted, be it blind, be it dyslexic, be it neurodivergent, be
Can we
it
say inclusive?
We consider everybody as students. Okay? And our role is only to facilitate technological knowledge, to make everybody dream big, bigger than what they can dream. Open their mind, take the limitations out and throw it in the trash. Nothing else. So for a visually impaired, again, since you asked that question in that manner, let me tell you one thing. You don't need to fear anything. Fear not. Okay?
Yes.
The present day, today, over the previous few years, has seen remarkable changes in making a visually impaired independent. The only problem with us, we are not coming out in the mainland society. Unless we come out in the mainland society will not understand. They still feel or still think a visually impaired person is a helpless creature who is running with some kind of traditional stuff and he is not fit for the mainstream society. In my experience, the hundreds of kids which Chakshumathi support, they all are extremely brilliant than a normal person or a PhD scholar from the sighted community. They have the power of technology in their hand. They have the power of reading and empowerment in their hand. And they do technology better than any sighted person. So I don't know what is the reason. And second thing, one thing I still want to say again and again and again, we people are, the community is, visually impaired community is lazy in independent mobility. Mobility is not a big thing. I have seen many people without this technological era. I have seen many totally blind persons independently traveling everywhere. Why? They were not having anyone to support them. The moment support system comes in, you tend to go into a comfort zone. The moment you go to a comfort zone, you limit your scope, limit your expansion. So mobility is the one area I am again and again advising to the people with visual impairment, especially to the students with visual impairment. Be independent. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Your parents are going to dump you into a special school. If you are independent, you can go to school every day. Try to find one or two good buddies to be with you. Hang around with you. They will be your eyes. They will be your muscle. They will be everything for you. Such youths who are dare enough to travel alone, who are dare enough to have good friends, I didn't see anything lacking with them. They all came to a top level in their professional pinnacle.
Hmm.
So don't take mobility as a lighter thing. You may have technological skill, but you need someone to come and take you from your chair to other chair or take you to some other place, make you totally incompatible to live in this mainstream society.
Hmm.
And don't hesitate to take support from anybody. You are independent, yes, but in certain areas, we may need support, especially in the mad traffic of India, crossing
Hmm.
roads. Don't venture out and jump into the car. Thousands of good hearts are there. They will cross you the road. Then you are now. If you look at even Indian roads and the pavements, most of the pavements are having tactiles. Indian roads are getting more and more safe. So don't
Hmm.
hesitate to getting into mobility. Be your own and go everywhere. Travel,
Hmm.
travel, travel. Travel will give you more and more knowledge, more insight for you.
Finally, can you share, if you want to share, any particular experiences working with the visually impaired people or working for them? How is the experience has been so far?
Okay,
Something
so
like that.
far it is 50-50. The good and the bad is also there. Because when we started helping people, we think everybody needs help. We help people who don't deserve help. That gets into disappointment.
Hmm.
But there are many youths, they are in need of that initial support of making them technologically empowered. That's all. So that young kids and their parents are empowered at the first sight, then they will take care of them. They will go great heights and they will have a future which can be like unimaginable.
Hmm.
Remember one thing, when Chakshumathi was started in 2010, there was the meaning of word disability means poverty. Because the person who got a disability can't work well and earn well. So they are always into poverty.
Hmm.
Now, today, on May 9th, 2023, I could very proudly say that any persons with any disabilities. So, first of all, the word disability can't be said here. We had to say Divyang and so many other uh, rosy
Specially
words.
able.
Yeah, but disability, if you look at everybody, there will be some disability with anyone, right? You don't need to shy out and say that I have a disability. For an example, for me, I have a disability because mathematics is not my cup of cake.
Hmm.
I have dyscalculia. I later found out because nowadays everything is deriving like new terminologies, right?
Hmm.
Like that, everybody got their own less and high. So don't think if someone can't see or someone can't run like anybody else, the normal people, but to compensate that disability, they have more ability. So if you look at the percentage of disability they have, at least 100 times bigger is their ability to overcome disability. So my advice is very simple. Don't focus on your disability. Focus only on your ability. Understand your ability. Nourish your ability. You will go great miles. You will be known as a successful person. That is what my advice.
Thank you, sir, for coming and giving your time, your precious time. And I hope Chakshumathi and you will work harder and whatever your goals are will be achieved. So thanks, sir, for coming once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doj. Doj, you are one of the lovely boys I have ever met across in our professional life, because Chakshumathi don't have any staff. Chakshumathi don't have any office. Chakshumathi don't have a bank account. How we work? The moment we empower a person, like a boy like you, our request is like you go and empower 10 more boys, 10 more kids. You work with kids only anyway. So I think you have done more than hundreds and hundreds of kids. You are empowering, you are giving the knowledge you acquired and bringing them, hand-holding them and bringing them up. So we are very much blessed to have children like you, Doj, Naresh. To name, there are hundreds and hundreds of boys are there. Recently, Srinidhi organized a camp itself for 35 youths. And there Atul and Srihari, all of them came and took classes. All what we do is like, we'll be there with one of our trainer. Most of the places, you know, Mr. Kumareshan, he's there. Even though he's the South India head for Bookshare, he always come for any Chakshumathi training programs.
Yes.
So when you take something, give back 100 times. Give back to the community. Not only the community, because in your capacity, you came to Anantapur to teach children with visual impairment and normal kids how to do video editing, how to do podcasting, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
that is a big service you have done. If I had to, or Chakshumathi had to employ a person to do all those things, then it will become mechanical. It will never become organic. So thank you, Doj. Thank you, hundreds of Chakshumathi boys and girls, to believe our think different concept, and what we have tried. We came, we step in when you are in trouble. Other than that, you all having a smooth sailing. God bless you all. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the video.
Like, share,
and
subscribe.